Page 44, Can Can. It's a melody from an opera by Offenbach. At the top of page 44, they're introducing you to that accent thing. Haven't you had accents before? I don't remember. It's that little angle bracket, that little sideways arrow thing that's above or below a note. It means play it with a little louder than the other notes. Take a look at the top of page 45. At the beginning there on the page, those half notes, each one has that little sideways arrow or that angle bracket. You accent those. You just play them a little louder. Now it's already FF, which is fortissimo, which is very loud. So the idea of accenting that, and to me, is kind of silly for piano. Now understand that a piano can't do a true accent. Other instruments like violins or wind instruments, they can do a true accent. And so this would make more sense for them. But for a piano, you're just playing it loud. And you can separate the notes slightly. It's here. That's an interpretive thing. Some people do it and some people don't. But on successive notes that are accented, they'll put a little space between them to help bring out the accent. You'll have to decide how you want to interpret that. Maybe sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. In this piece, it's actually not a bad idea to go ahead and to separate those accented notes a little bit. So, as far as this piece goes, at the beginning, it's common time or 4/4 time in the key of G major, got one sharp. And you have these notes, the C sharp and D, it's way up here. Here, and then is here, is same 3 and 2. And then right hand comes down to get the next one, and then the left hand gets the last. Like so. The little grace note is played very quickly, almost at the same time. You can't really tell. I play it on the beat, but here it doesn't really matter. And then here, very quickly. Then it starts with the right hand here. It's 1, 5, 2. You're getting up in a little more advanced music, so your hands are going to move around more, and these 2-note slurs, we want to hear it. Ba. So follow these slurs up and down as you do this. The second line, first measure, that's all slurred. And the second measure of the second line there, I suggest you do a 2/4 on the D's. This way you're in position to go on. You get that little grace note again. And if you don't want to play that with 4/3, that's a little awkward. Doesn't hurt you to learn to do that, but if you don't want to do that, then go ahead and do it with 3/2, which means the last note in the second line has to be with second finger. So you're in position to do 3/2 at the beginning of the third line if you want that. And then stay there. Again, it's 3/2 for the second measure. And then for the last 2 notes on the second measure, 4/3. This puts you in position to go on. And then you've had this before. Top of page 45 here. These 4 half notes together, that's a chord. And the fingering for the chord is 4th finger on the G. So I recommend you use 4th finger on the G, not 3rd. And reach up. And then again, except now it's got an 8VA, so now you're going to go up here. 4th finger on the G, and then the 8VA goes away, but you're right where you want to be. And then for the second line, 4th measure, I recommend 3/2. Come up and do a 3/2 on it. And stay here until the last 2 notes of that second line, and then you can if you want, do a 5/4. This way, you're a little closer to the next note. The next note is a C, it's down here. But by here, you don't have to move as far. This piece moves, we have to keep that in mind. Because if you're up here, This fingering is awkward. It's good exercise if you want to do it that way. But this is, it slows down there. It's just, I got to go from here to here. It's easier to go from here to here. You'll have to decide. But I'm recommending for the second line, the last measure, it's 3, 2, 5, 4. And then you're ready to go on. Follow their fingering here in the third line, last two measures. Third line, or fourth line down, last two, that's a C major scale. If you can do the scales, that's easy. If you can't do the scales, you need to learn to do the scales. And then follow their fingering. Last note on the page is a C way up here. Left hand. At the beginning, you third measure over on the first line on page 44 is just a chord, and then a chord. The kicker with these chords is they're half notes, so make sure it comes up on beat 3. It's easier said than done. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. By itself is not a problem. It's when you add the other hand. Top of page 45, again, use their fingering. That's the fingering, and then come up. Last measure, that 8VA is up to the top staff, not the bottom. The bottom staff stays where it's at. So you hear. Second line, fourth measure, that chord, that ugly thing, spell it out. It's an F, a G, a B, and a D. It's just a G7 chord. It's just using all 4 notes. And then go on. Just work out each of those chords, 1 note at a time if you have to, till you get them. It's alright. That last chord in there, that's an F natural, because we got an F sharp in the key signatures. And then third line, broke chord, staccato, and a nice light wrist staccato. Keep it soft, because we want to hear the right hand. Till the fourth line, the last 2 measures, now you got that C major scale going down. That's about it. The last note on the page, on page 45, is a C way down here. Then put the hands together. Oh, goody. So you're up here at the beginning, here, here, and those are staccato, by the way. I'm not playing them that way, but it is. And then you hear, let's go slow here. It's here. That's a whole note in the left hand there. And here, watch out, you have a C sharp in the right hand, but a C natural in the left hand. They can do that though. And so forth to the end. Last line, the last couple measures, you're here. And the last note in the left hand is a G with an 8V8 under it, so you go down, but you don't do it till the second time. You see the second time note? So the first time we go through this, it's just here, as written. And then top of page 45, we're here. Then bring out the top note, or top lines. Again. These are whole notes in the left hand. You slow down a little bit, and then all tempo for the third line means go back and whatever speed you were doing before you slowed down. Can you do staccato in one hand and legato in the other? Good luck. You do that until at the end. The last line is here. Measure. Both hands are staccato, and then both hands are accented, a little extra oomph. So you got to go from here to here. Both hands at the same time. You know, I have to practice that maybe because you just got to look down. I'm kind of looking in the middle because my peripheral vision lets me see more than that, and I can see both hands even though I'm not really looking at either hand. I'm just kind of what a lot of people will do here, and I use this techniques, is you're either right or left-handed, so one hand favors the other. What you can do is you look at your weak side and trust your strong side to go where it's supposed to go, because you can control that better. With me, I'm left-handed, and so I look at the right side up here and watch the right hand, because I can trust my left hand to go where I need it to go, because you know I'm left-handed. So I tend to look up here and here. But somehow you've got to do that. Sometimes in some pieces you can move one hand at a time, and sometimes you got to move them together. This moves, you got to move them together in this piece. Now, roadmap-wise, when you get down to the bottom of page 45, there's a DC al fine. The DC, you're going to go back to the beginning at the top of page 44, and the fine is at the bottom of page 44, and that's where the left-hand 8VA comes in, that's the second time. You'll find recordings of this, but you have to play it at your speed, not somebody else's. This Allegro con brio thing, fast with brilliance, this is a fun, party, exciting piece. You know, it starts out medium loud and gets to loud. Not a lot of difference. So take your time and you just... Second line, first two... if you can, I mean... I don't recommend you go loud here and go to very loud. Come down so you got more room to go to. Then third line. And you got to remember, it goes on. You're going to go right to page 45. It's a clasp the wrists on these. Don't get vulgar here and play. And then medium soft, sort of soft. It's like a statement answer. Statement. Now you're kind of medium loud. Getting louder. And then go on. There's no fermata there. You keep going. And here, you're medium loud here. They put an MP down there. That's unnecessary. We want to know what the melody is, and you adjust the other to stay under it. We tend to do this a little louder than the other, and you can decrescendo as you go down. Now it's loud in the right hand. You see at the bottom the accelerando, that means speed up. How much you speed up? No, listen to recordings, you get an idea. And immediately after this, you got to go back. But you're already here, so you're in position to go on, is my point. You got to go. And you do the first page again at the bottom, the last two measures. There, and it's done. There's no retard or nothing. To give you an idea how this might go, I'd like to do it slowly, just so we can double check the notes and the rhythms. There's no pedal in this because we got staccatos and we're bouncing along and having fun. pedal would mess that all up. So I'll give us 4 counts, and let's just do it slowly to check the notes and rhythms. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest. Rest. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Three, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 4. Rest, 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 rest. 3, 4. 4.